This question, it's nearly verbatim. So I've done many dumb mistakes due to sexual thoughts. Am I still allowed to walk the path of realization, devotion, meditation? I feel shame and guilt all the time. Intense meditation is helping now, 1 hour or more most days. I think there is something fundamentally wrong with guilt. Because the idea of feeling bad is one thing. That, look, I could have done something better. But to feel guilty and then to expect you will be able to rise above it, it's somewhat paradoxical. Because guilt actually weakens you. Whereas to overcome anything, any emotion, any way of life, any habit, you need strength. You don't need guilt. But of course, I can't say never feel guilty. If you've done something that doesn't sit well with you, you would naturally feel guilty. And it's one of those things which you feel deep inside you. And words and other people's gestures don't actually help you come out of that guilt. So the main thing to remember, I was saying, as I say, prevention is better than cure. The main thing to remember is you cannot undo your actions. So be careful. It is not possible to undo your actions. It happened recently that this driver was drunk and he ran over a family of 3 kids. They were going to get ice cream. And they were on the footpath and he didn't realize. Of course, he was drunk. And then he just ended up killing them all 3. And he was very sorry. And the parents were crying their eyes out because they only had 3 children. They were going to get ice cream in the afternoon. And suddenly nobody returned home, and just a block away from home. And he apologized profusely. Somehow he was, of course, very guilty of what he had done. He knew he not only broke the law, what he did was just plain stupid. To get drunk and drive. But the thing is, it does not matter whom he believes in, to which God he prays to. It does not matter how deeply sorry he is. It actually is completely immaterial that he never meant to do it, that his intention was never to hurt anybody. It makes no difference to anybody that he had been a good human being all his life, or that the parents want to forgive him. The fact is, those 3 kids are not going to ever come back. The fact is, it doesn't matter how much he repents what he's done, it cannot be undone. He cannot go back in time and repair that damage, regardless of how deeply he craves for it. And that's something we ought to remember when we do something in life. When we do something, remember it will have consequences. Our actions will have certain results and consequences. Whether you intended it or not, whether we meant it or not, or whether we wanted it or not, or whether we were trying to do something totally different, none of that matters. What matters is an action was performed, and that action is going to have an outcome. You may not like the outcome. You may regret the outcome. You may regret the action itself, but that does not change the story. Everything remains as is. So I can't say that you should not feel guilt because, and I'm not talking about in this person's case, I'm saying in general, when I have done an action, I can't undo it. Now, it doesn't matter how deeply one craves for something, but if you've done something, we then have to live with, look, I made a choice. However forced or ignorant that choice may be, but when we are subjected to something, an action, when we subject ourselves to an action, when we commit to a karma, to action of some form, we have to pay the price. And others also pay the price. But broadly what I'm saying is we have to live with the outcome of that karma. And Saint Augustine, he was a phenomenal saint. And you can read up his writings or even his biography. And sometimes people would ask him that, were you like this as a child? So together, so devoted, and so focused, so committed to the Lord. And he would laugh. He would say, you should ask my parents. I had not a bone in my body which had anything to do with worship. He said, I was so naughty and I was so mischievous. I was constantly making troubles for everybody and creating a ruckus. Nobody ever thought that this would be my path. This could even be my path. But it is. And that's where I feel that hope and faith, we can never underestimate the power, the immense potential, the energy these two emotions, these two sentiments carry. As long as you have hope and as long as you have faith in your heart, in your mind, anything is possible. Anything which is reasonable, any transformation is possible, I mean to say. So we can't afford to give up on hope and faith. The future of humanity, the future of human beings, the future of any individual is not to perish without realizing the truth. It's not to, dust thou art, to dust returnest was not spoken of the soul. It's not that one day you'll all turn to dust. I think, I forget who was this beautiful saint, when he was asked, what is the purpose of human life? He said, it is only to discover beauty. The only purpose of human life is to discover beauty in everything. Rest is commentary. Rest is just noise.